India's climate hero, jailed the truth behind his arrest. He's an internationally celebrated innovator, a Ramon Magsaysay Award winner, and the man whose life inspired a blockbuster film. Around the world, Sonam Wangchuk is known as a climate hero. He's the engineer who invented ice stupas, artificial glaciers, to solve water shortages in the high-altitude desert of Ladakh. His educational reforms have changed thousands of lives, and his eco-friendly, solar-powered campus is a model for the world. But on September 26, 2025, this global icon was arrested. He was detained under one of India's toughest laws, the National Security Act, which allows the government to hold someone for up to a year without a trial. He was flown from his home in the Himalayas and taken to a jail hundreds of miles away in Jodhpur. The man who taught a generation how to live in harmony with nature was suddenly a prisoner of the state, accused of inciting violence and threatening national security. How did it come to this? How does a climate activist become a political detainee? This is the story of a peaceful protest that turned deadly, a fight for the future of a fragile region, and the truth behind why India's climate hero was put behind bars. The story of Sonam Wangchuk's arrest isn't just about one man. It's about the future of one of the most ecologically sensitive and strategically important regions on Earth. Ladakh, a cold desert often called the Third Pole for its vast glaciers, has been at a crossroads since 2019. That was the year it was separated from the former state of Jammu and Kashmir and turned into a union territory, putting it under the direct control of India's central government in New Delhi. While some welcomed the change at first, that feeling didn't last. The new system left Ladakh with no local legislature, meaning that crucial decisions about its land, resources, and future were being made thousands of kilometers away. For a region with a unique tribal culture, where over 90% of the population is tribal, this loss of autonomy was terrifying. People began to fear that without local control, Ladakh's fragile environment would be thrown open to large-scale industrial and mining projects, threatening the very glaciers that sustain life there. This is where Sonam Wangchuk stepped in. For years, he'd warned about climate change melting the Himalayan glaciers. Now, he saw a new, more immediate threat. He became a key figure in a growing movement with two clear demands: make Ladakh a state, and most importantly, bring the region under the sixth schedule of the Indian Constitution. So, what exactly is the sixth schedule? It's a powerful constitutional protection for tribal areas. It allows for the creation of autonomous councils that give local communities real legislative power over their own land, forests, and water. For Wangchuk and the people of Ladakh, this wasn't just a political talking point. It was a tool for survival. They believed it was the only way to protect their land from outside exploitation and manage their own future. At first, the movement was entirely peaceful, defined by the nonviolent, Gandhian methods that Wangchuk advocated. In early 2024, he went on a grueling 21-day climate fast in sub-zero temperatures, surviving only on water and salt to bring attention to Ladakh's fight. He became a prominent voice, and in July 2025, the two main protest groups, the Leh Apex Body and the Kargil Democratic Alliance, unilaterally decided to include him as a member of their leadership. But after multiple rounds of talks, the government and the protesters were at a dead end. By September 2025, the frustration was about to boil over. On September 10th, Wangchuk and other activists began another hunger strike. As the days wore on and strikers were hospitalized, tensions in the capital city of Leh went through the roof. Then, on September 24, 2025, that simmering anger exploded. A protest shutdown called by the movement's youth wing escalated into violent clashes. Crowds fought with security forces, a political party office was set on fire, and police responded with batons and tear gas. The day ended in tragedy. 4 people were killed and over 70 were injured. The government's response was swift and severe. They blamed Wangchuk. The administration accused him of giving provocative speeches, suggesting an overthrow of the government like the Arab Spring, and even encouraging self-immolation. Wangchuk has always insisted he only ever called for peace. But 2 days after the violence, on September 26th, he was detained. The government didn't use ordinary law. It used the National Security Act, a law reserved for the most serious threats to the state. The internet was shut down, and a chill fell over the entire region. Sonam Wangchuk was taken from his home and flown to Jodhpur Central Jail in Rajasthan. His wife, Gitanjali Angmo, immediately challenged the detention, filing a habeas corpus petition in the Supreme Court of India, a powerful legal action that forces the government to justify why it's holding a person captive. The legal battle has become a war of two completely different stories. Wangchuk's lawyers argue the detention is a blatant attempt to crush democratic dissent. His wife's petition calls the arrest illegal and points out major inconsistencies. For example, of the 5 police reports used to justify his detention, 3 are from 2024, and most don't even mention his name. His team also argues there were serious procedural failures. Wangchuk allegedly didn't receive a complete detention order until 3 days after his arrest, and the full grounds, including video evidence, were only handed over after a 28-day delay, right before his hearing. The government, however, insists the detention was lawful. The Leh district magistrate claims Wangchuk's role in inciting violence made the arrest necessary. At the same time, the administration has begun investigating his NGO for financial issues and canceled its foreign funding license, moves his supporters say are part of a coordinated campaign to discredit him. The Supreme Court has asked the central government and the Ladakh administration to respond to the allegations. For now, the case is adjourned until November 24, 2025. As the legal fight continues, Sonam Wangchuk sits in a jail cell, his fate a symbol of the larger battle between state power and individual freedom. This is a complex and fast-moving story, and here at SKRS, we believe it's crucial to examine all sides. The principles of democratic protest, environmental protection, and constitutional rights are on the line. What do you think? Is this a genuine matter of national security or a crackdown on dissent? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you believe these stories are important, please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you more in-depth reports. The arrest of Sonam Wangchuk is more than just the jailing of a famous activist. It's a flashpoint for modern India, highlighting the deep conflict between development and environmental protection, especially in our planet's most fragile ecosystems. His story forces us to ask tough questions. How much space is there for dissent in a democracy? And can a law designed to protect the nation be used to silence the voice of a peaceful movement? The people of Ladakh are fighting for the right to control their own future and protect their ancestral land. They see the glaciers melting and the water disappearing, and they fear that unchecked industrial growth could be the final blow. Sonam Wangchuk became the face of that struggle. He argued that empowering local communities through the 6th schedule is the most effective climate action policy for the Himalayas. His jailing hasn't stopped the movement. If anything, it has brought global attention to Ladakh's demands. The truth behind his arrest isn't a simple story of a protest that went wrong. It's the story of a climate hero who realized that a political fight was essential to his environmental mission. It is the story of a community's desperate plea for autonomy in the face of ecological collapse. And its final chapter will be written not just in a courtroom, but in the future of Ladakh and the health of our planet.